What is going on, guys? Today I am in just an amazing mood. I went skydiving today. It was fucking awesome. I've never been in a plane before, and now my first plane experience was jumping out of the plane, and it was fucking awesome. So I'd highly recommend definitely skydive if you get the chance. It's crazy. It's great. I loved it so much.
Safe and sound, what'd you think? That was awesome. You did a great job, man.
Anyways, that's not why you're here. You're here because we got an intercooler, baby. Alright guys, so we've got our Mishimotto intercooler. We got the Z-line intercooler. The reason we didn't go with the big one is, we'll get into that in a second. I'll have to show you. But overall, this thing is pretty nice. I think I'm holding it upside down. Yeah, that's how it goes, like that. We got the warranty, all that stuff on the top. TIG welds look pretty good. Once again, Mishimotto coming through, quality product, really love them. And then, you know, maybe we get a Mishimotto water cooler. We'll see. So as always with Mishimotto, you get a little like brochure and a air freshener. I don't really do anything with the brochures, but the air fresheners I like. They smell good. It's hard to describe the smell, but it's a good smell. I like it. Definitely using it. This one's gonna go right in the 240 while she's sitting, so she doesn't end up smelling bad. And along with the intercooler, I also went ahead and I got intercooler piping. So we've got a bunch of couplers, a bunch of tubes. We got a 180 here. We've got another 180. Looks like 290, some 45s, and 2 straights. And then we just got a bunch of these clamps. So I think we'll be good. So here's all the piping. We got our couplers here, we got our clamps. So let's get everything out. Oh, we've got all this piping. This piping is 2.5 inch piping. I went with 2.5 instead of 3 inch because the intercooler outlets are 2.5. And also I had to get this guy. It's a 2 inch to 2.5 inch 90 because the Turbski outlet is only 2 inch. So I didn't want to go from 2 inch to 3 inch because that's a huge jump. Plus the intercooler is only 2.5 inch. So we went with 2.5 inch piping. That's going to be plenty. This motor isn't going to be pushing like 600 horsepower, so we don't need all that flow. But yeah, just a bunch more piping. 45s, what it looks like, or those might be 30s. Those don't look like quite like 45s. But then we got our straights. Alright guys, so this is why I went with the Z-line, the like not tall version of Mishimotto's intercoolers. Usually found on like a Focus ST or Fiesta ST. They usually run this, or like a Genesis Coupe. Is because it's going right here. I've got to cut these brackets off on the headlights where the motors sit. I have to cut those off, but it's going to sit there, and then I'll have to modify the headlights, get things out of the way so the piping fits. But that's where it's going to go. And the reason it's going up so high is because we're having a Street Faction bash bar. It's, you know, goes across, it's got the corner bracing, and it's also got the upper support. So this is going to sit basically right behind the upper support. So the reason we're not putting it below the bash bar is because we're going to have a skid plate. And if we have a skid plate, that's going to block all the airflow going to it. So yeah, so it's going up high. Alright guys, so we got her sitting just supported by the 2 jack stands, but this is pretty much exactly where I want it. We've got the nut there lined up with the core support, so we can have a bracket there. I don't think I'm going to have the 2 bottom ones attached to anything. as of right now, maybe in the future. But as of right now, I think with those and then just those two will probably be solid. If it's not solid enough, then I'll figure something out to get those mounted as well. But we've got this side and this side are pretty even as far as how level they are with the core support, and everything looks pretty damn good, and I'm happy. I'm also happy with this gap. I think that's a pretty even gap and a pretty good gap, so I think this is awesome. So now I just gotta take measurements so I can make the brackets for it. They're gonna have to come in diagonal only because of these guys, and yeah, that's about it really. Do those, and then once those are done, we'll work on this guy. So I got the bandsaw in here, putting in work, getting this bracket made. It's essentially going to be this for the top, and it's going to go like that. So it sits flush with the core support, and it holds the intercooler up. And then once we get those in, this guy should be pretty simple. It should just be a piece of angle. Should do it. But we shall see what happens. But God, dude, it looks pretty good. I'm real nervous though about the piping. Not so much this side. So the piping on this side is essentially just going to be a 90 into this coupler. Now I'm hoping I can get a tight enough radius here with the 90, because I can only rotate the turbo so much to bring it closer, because we have this guy here. So hopefully we don't have any issues there. However, this side I think we're going to have some issues, because not only does it have the 90 in, it has to go up a pretty good amount. So it's going to like 90 and then like kind of S. Alright guys, so we got the brackets made. They look pretty good. Don't worry, I'm going to round the corners off like how I did up here for the radiator. But now I've just got to weld them on, so I've got to strip back the bed liner with the wire wheel and then weld them on. Well, tack them first and then come back, make sure everything sits the way I want it to, and then fully weld it and go from there. Alright guys, we got her mounted and she looks good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna bend the tabs down just a hair, just so I can bring this in a little more. But I mean, everything is solid. It's just tacked on for now, just because I want to get the fitment right. But oh man, that's great. So with this 90 here, it looks like it lines up with there. The height's pretty similar. I'd have to double check, but I got to drill right where that hole is. I'm gonna do a 3-inch hole. But I think this side is gonna be pretty fucking easy, which is awesome, because I know this side won't. And I won't be getting this side done today because the throttle body is a 2 3/4 inch opening. I only have 2.5 inch couplers, so that will have to wait. But this is pretty fucking sweet. This side will be hopefully real easy. Alright guys, we got her mounted. Went ahead and did the bottom mount. Everything is just tack welded, just for mock-up purposes, but this thing is on there. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm happy with the gap we've got. Everything looks good to me. I'm pretty fucking good with this, guys. So now I can take it off, fully weld, round the corners off, and bedline it. And then that's all the modification that needs to be done to this core support. So after that, the core support is done. Alright guys, we got her on. Got the tabs, are all painted. Everything looks good. And this thing is on there. It's not going anywhere, so that's awesome. Now, here's this situation, which should be pretty simple, going from there to there, because it looks like they're roughly the same height. So it looks like with some finagling that can work. I'm not too worried about that side. Like I said, I'm worried about that side. That side won't be done today because the throttle body is actually 2 3/4 and the piping I have is 2.5. So I had to get a different, like an adapter to go from 2 3/4 to 2.5. So yeah, we'll get that figured out once. So what we're going to be doing for the rest of so all that we're going to get done today is we'll get the holes drilled for the intercooler piping, and then from there we'll get this piping done, and then that'll be all good. Okay guys, so here's how I figured out where I need to drill for this guy. You get it on there, and then you get it where you want, and then you mark the top of it in the center, and then you find how wide this is, find the halfway point, and from that dot, I messed up on the first one, but from that dot measure down whatever the halfway point is into there. And I'm going a little to the left because the hole saw is landing right here and I don't want that. And the hole saw I'm using is a 3" and the piping is 2.5", so I've got a 1/2 inch of room to work with, and I moved over just a hair because it would be just barely getting on there, and I feel like that would just be such a pain. So we're gonna avoid that and we're gonna get this going, but it really looks like it's gonna work. I took some rough measurements and hopefully everything goes as planned because I'd like it to look as clean as possible. Alright guys, so we got that hole in. I put some vacuum line around it to make it look better and not damage the piping. And this is what we're working with. And it looks like we're gonna make it. So that's pretty sweet to have this side done. And that side, I don't know, but I hope it's easier to drill through because there's not really a whole lot of stuff going on there. This side was a nightmare trying to get that through right now. The drill kept fighting me and that was not fun. But we'll get this cut to length. I'm probably going to cut it a little further, probably about here, just to be safe for now. And then if I have to cut a little more off, then I have to cut a little more off. But you can't really add more piping, especially me because I don't have a TIG welder, so I can't weld aluminum. Alright guys, so it looks like we're going to have to cut a little more off of this pipe, which is not a big deal. I'd much rather have to cut more off than need more. Alright guys, we got this side done, and it looks pretty good. I mean, a 90, straight 90. Pretty simple. Pretty good. I gotta get a clamp for here that's small enough. These are 2.5" clamps, and that is a 2", and they don't shrink enough to grab it. So I'll have to order that. So on this one, I think I'm gonna shoot for there, that open space between the two brackets, because this one, if you can see that little screw right there, that's for the headlight. So that won't be used anymore, unfortunately. However, if I would have moved it over, then I would have had to do more finagling to get it to work. So, oh well. It is what it is. This side is good. I'm not worried about it. This side, I am still trying to figure things out. I don't know if I'm going to get the piping done today. Well, definitely can't because I don't have the coupler to go on the throttle body. Guys, she looks pretty damn good. I got the motor brackets off for both of them, and then on this one I went a step further and I got it fitted so the pipe runs through there. And I mean, like, it's pretty close, and the headlight does move. I'll have to figure out a better way so it doesn't really, do that all the time. Like bringing something on this side to the bracket just so it doesn't move at all, so the piping doesn't get damaged, because it is a coupler, it's not the metal. But this side is done. Essentially it's done. There's, you know, the clamp and the headlight stuff, but this side, I think I'm gonna hold off on getting this side going, only because I'm real intimidated by it and I don't know how I want to approach it. So I'm gonna hold off and try to figure out what I'm gonna do. Alright guys, I'm gonna end it here. I don't know what we're gonna do about the cold side of the intercooler piping. We're gonna have to figure something out. But yeah, we'll get it figured out. It's just gonna take a lot of brain work. But you know, there's other things that need to be done in the meantime. I still gotta do the wiring for the cabin, which I'm starting on. I've got a few things done, but you know, definitely got some more work to do. But thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you did, comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.